Welcome to Naraka Bladepoint. In this video we are going through a beginner guide that will help you understand the game a little bit better, and it will get you underway to getting yourself some victories. There is a tutorial at the very start of the game before you even go into your first match, and this will also give you some great tips for the basic combat and just learning things in general about the game. Naraka Bladepoint is a battle royale game that has 60 players in a match. It's got the typical closing circle that pushes players together until you get the victory, and it's available to try for free, completely free, right now on Steam. When you begin a match, you will be able to pick your spawn location, and you can see where others have picked to spawn as well. You can play solos, duos, and trios in this game. I'm a big fan of playing with other players, so I jumped into some trios. You can see where your teammates pick. You can even invite players to come and spawn with you that are on your team. And I would highly recommend you stick with your team if you're playing a mode that has other members in there as well, because this game is very fast paced. You can easily be outnumbered. I would not recommend going into a trio and spawning on your own. There are also quests that are available in this game, like you can get bounties and things, and they will award you with money that you can then go and spend in game. You can purchase different upgrades and stuff, and it's going to be a big help doing some quests. Parkour is also a big part of Naraka Bladepoint, so make sure you've got some grappling hooks and make sure to practice, as you can get to some really good spots on the map that are going to give you a huge advantage in combat. And the way the loot works in Naraka Bladepoint is it spawns in loot piles. So you're exploring, you're fighting, you'll find a pile of loot, and normally you would press E to open it up and have a look what's in that loot pile. But instead of doing that, if you have a couple that are close together, if you press tab instead and you open up your inventory, like you open up your own bag, what that's going to do is it's going to show you everything all together within a close proximity, and it makes it easier than pressing E, going through one bag and then going over to the next one and going through that one, or loot piles, not bags. When it comes to the combat, you definitely need to master it in Naraka Bladepoint. The combat's fantastic. There's a good mix of melee and ranged weapons. I love the way they've set it out in this game. But if you're fighting someone that's using a melee weapon and you've got ranged, it's not really going to work out if you've got a pistol and they've got a longsword, because of the pace in this game. They're going to be able to catch you up quick. You're not going to have a second to pull off that ranged attack. The only way you can pull off something like that is to make sure that you can get really good distance. So going back to a previous tip, make sure you've got yourself some grappling hooks. And the melee in this game is all about timing. If you're spamming attack, it can just get you, you can be lucky and it can get you a kill, or it can actually get you killed just spamming attacks. Countering is a great way to get the upper hand in combat, and also knowing when to strike is going to stop the enemy countering you. So make sure you practice with it, master it, and you're going to have a much better time in this game. And what I like to do, or what I've at least done for the first few matches, is I like to act as an outsider. When you do start this game for the very first time, it's going to give you more bots to fight against rather than other players. And it's going to do that in your early matches as well as other players to help you ease into the game. Then when it comes to fights in trios, I like to keep my distance. Then I come into the fight late, and I either use ranged weapons or I come in with my F ability, which with the character I'm using can help your teammate. If they're getting destroyed, it pushes the enemy back. It gets them away from your teammate, and then you can jump in and you can help out with the actual combat. Or another thing I do is just wait until I've got my ultimate. When there's a fight going on, I step out of that fight a little bit, use my ultimate, and what that's going to do is stun the enemies so we can get some more hits in and we can wreck the other team. Another tip, I don't really like adding this one into games, but I have to in this one because it happened from the very start of the match all the way up until the end. Be careful of your own teammates. Players in this game, at least from what I've played so far, seem to be very greedy. They will go as far as grabbing loot and stuff in the middle of fights. They will steal all the good stuff for themselves. They'll leave you with basic gear until the end of the match, so that obviously you can pick up some better gear when they're maxed out and they've got everything for themselves. So what I say is, if you can't beat them to grabbing the loot, then join them and grab it in the middle of a fight yourself. Unless you are able to just hold on for good gear and not leave your team outnumbered in the middle of combat like a lot of players have done. Then weapons, regardless of being ranged or melee, do have a durability in this game. They do not last very long whatsoever, so when you are looting, make sure that you are always carrying at least 2 weaponry chests so that you are able to repair your weapons. The same goes with the health and the armor regens. They don't take too long to use, they're very helpful try and balance out your inventory or your bag as much as you possibly can. And the reason for that, this game is so fast-paced. Like, I can't stress enough how fast-paced this game actually is. You are never going to know when you're going to be attacked. Enemies can pop up absolutely any time, especially as the circle starts getting smaller. So make sure you've got your healing items, make sure you've mastered combat, make sure you've got some good weapons and stuff. 100% make sure that you're not getting left out of the loot piles and stuff due to greedy teammates. And on that note, we are going to leave the beginner guide for Naraka Bladepoint there. Check out this video if you want to see other content on the channel. I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.